14 said, my favorite bands are Duran, Culture Club, Sister. I'm going, whoa, what's that all about? I mean, I would have beat up Duran if I had a chance. There was Twisted, and we were, street urchins, bad boys, ugly, angry. But other bands were starting to smile. And the biggie with that, of course, was Bon Jovi. The birth of happy metal.
Hi, this is John Bon Jovi.
Suddenly, everybody found out that some of the bands had teeth, big grins, and instead of everybody, scowling and being pissed off, they were saying, "Hey, what are we pissed off about? We're making millions of dollars. We're playing heavy metal now."
I picture more of what I'm doing as like Clint Eastwood with a guitar. I got a holster, but it's got my microphone in it,
With their mega-selling LP Slippery When Wet, Bon Jovi joined a handful of melodic meddlers whose ride on the pop gravy train yielded multi-platinum results. Other bands sought immediate success with that crossover radio fave, the power ballad.
Child, dry your crying eyes. Heaven isn't too far away.
Inspired by the flamboyance of the New York Dolls, Alice Cooper, and Kiss, 80s pop meddlers slid into spandex, slathered on the mascara, and dug out the industrial-strength hair products.
This is how you do it. Of course, you dry it upside down, you flip it up, and then you just tease it like crazy, and you spray it as you're teasing it, each section, so it stays through a whole show.
While trying to maintain some sense of credibility with hardcore fans and reach out to new, largely female audiences, metal became fractured into subgenres. Some struggled to label the music. It might be metal, they said, but it ain't heavy.
It still gets me to this day how people think Rat was a heavy metal band. Because I wore a studded belt one night or something, and I mean, I'd rather go with the term fashion metal.
You guys have been labeled as being a glam band. Do you feel that the word glam is kind of getting tired, or they're not using the word anymore, or dying out?
That glam is more about image than music. I mean, you can't call music glam, really. You can call it look glam.
Is there a way that you would describe your image?
Glam.
And is there a way you describe your music?
Glam.
The 80s metal got very confusing because it went from Poison to Metallica, Motorhead, Ozzy, Motley Crue, right across the board. And anybody with a singer with blonde hair looking sweet and pretty was called heavy metal. Now I don't see. I don't see there's any relationship between Metallica and Poison, I hope. Because, Poison, to me, were just an out-and-out pop band.
By 1989, the pop market had grown glutted with crossover-crazed metalheads. Some knew all too well at the time that the scene's days were drawing to a close.
It gets to a point, and I believe we're at that point right now, when you get this kind of dinosaur music mentality going on, where everybody looks the same, everybody sounds the same. We're getting into that again, which is everything that punk rebelled against in the 70s. I think it's time for a revolution, a musical revolution of some sort. Someone's got to do something original here.
When Nirvana came into existence, people saw how Kurt Cobain was, who was very just normal, and they saw that he wasn't like some larger-than-life person. I think a lot of people were able to relate to that sort of thing more than this big, glamorous, sort of made-up superstar, rock star.
The reason Nirvana and Pearl Jam happened was because too many bands sounded like we did. There was your Wingers and your Warrants and your Slaughters, and they were all borrowing our sound.
All right, it's our fault. Our fault. We were the band who brought down the 80s.
By 1992, the highly sexualized pop metal party had, almost in the blink of an eye, vanished. fans and record companies had turned their attention to Seattle and a less frivolous aesthetic that owed more to the Sex Pistols than to Kiss.
When we released the record Cherry Pie, in the office of Columbia in New York, over the president's desk, Donnie Einer's desk, his secretary's desk actually, there was a huge poster of Cherry Pie, you know, and that was a big ego boost or stroke to the band to know that you're a priority at such a huge label. And then when we were going to release the next record, which was called Dog Eat Dog, I did the exact same trip to New York to talk with Donnie. And over his secretary's desk was a huge poster again, only this time it was Alice in Chains' Dirt. And I was like, I think we slipped down the priority ladder here a little bit. And that was one of the very first signs.
Boys and girls, you may remember this one. Thank you. It's nice to be here in Vegas, the lounge. And but I'm not bitter. No.
What led to the decline of the interest in the music?
I think in any style of music that comes out, there's really, really great bands or originators, and then there's kind of the B copycats, and then it hits the C League. You know what I mean? Where it just kind of all disappear. You know, then, you know, every genre of music has just bands that come out that are originators, and then, you know, just, I don't know what the I'm saying. I don't know why it ended. I don't know. I'm trying to answer genre of music. I don't know. MTV stopped playing the videos. I mean, who knows?
Every rose has its thorn.
As one of the 80s premier pop metal bands, Poison sold more than 17 million records and sold out arenas coast to coast. But that was a long time ago. Addled by drugs and arguing with the band, guitarist C.C. DeVille left Poison in 1991 and has since sworn off all controlled substances. Drummer Ricky Rocket dabbles in animal racketeering and martial arts, while bassist Bobby Dahl wed and moved to Florida. As for singer Bret Michaels, once the high-profile paramour of Pamela Anderson, he's trying to stake out an acting career, having moved to Nashville to star in a self-financed film entitled A Letter from Death Row.
Poison's like the perfect imperfection.
Poison is like a circus coming to town.
Poison's a band for the people.
What do you think when you look back, especially of the early Poison videos? What do you think when you watch them now?
I love it. I mean, I think, you know, I look back and that was fun. I mean, it was just so much fun. I think fashion is supposed to be fun. I think the way, you know, I think people take themselves sometimes way too serious.
In retrospect, it seems shallow, I guess, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and there was some sad. There's some sad. I don't know. We had a lot of fun. You know, I mean, it was. We had some good songs. We tried to delve into other things than just having a good time all the time. And maybe we really were having a good time to realize that we're not good at talking about the negative times. I guess maybe that's we're shallow. We're a shallow band.
What is wrong with somebody coming out and saying, yeah, I want to be a star?
I mean, I lived it, I loved it, and it was awesome.
Our videos, first class crap.
Said she loves me, she'll come back.
Sorry.
We did it. You know, we still look at the pictures and laugh at them.
We became parodies of ourselves, big hair, lots of makeup. Dawkins failed miserably at being a hair band. We tried to tear our t-shirts. I tried to put the blue mascara on. I just couldn't get it together.
Band was wearing bandanas. Darn it, we're going to wear bandanas too. And if they were, what kind of hairspray is Motley Crue?
In hindsight,
Years from the pop metal years have seen their lives of screaming crowds and endless tours come to an end. Janet Gardner, former singer of Vixen, now lives in the rural hills of Connecticut and has found satisfaction in the fair. Vince Neil, the Motley Crue vocalist whose offstage misadventures offered the era's most vivid example of 80s excess, also became a father. He continued to tour in support of his solo career, but found his life transformed by the birth of his daughter, Skylar.
I never wanted to go home. Because I love being on the road so much. But then, when she was born, it was great to be home, and you want to share in their life.
But that happiness was short-lived. Skylar was diagnosed with stomach cancer and died August 15th, 1995 at the age of 4. Vince wrote this song for her while she was in the hospital. Brian Forsyth from Kix had no intention of wiping out his past as a metal musician, but considering the commercial state of the art, Brian's found another way to pay the bills.
I'm working for my brother, painting billboards. Today I'm going to take a bucket of white paint and I'm going to coat out this board, which means just paint it white. Then I'm going to paint a phone number on it and the word available.
People put too much emphasis on the fashion in rock and roll today because rock and roll really is, it is a way of life and a lifestyle, but the most important thing is the music. And I've read album reviews on us, and all they talk about is what we wear. It's like, what happened, how about, when you talk about the music, for at least a couple lines.
Do you feel that you were taken seriously as a musician?
Very much. Very much.
What is all this talking going round?
Part of the reason that we were so popular, I believe, is that we did have some respect musically. Nobody's our competition.
There's no competition. If there's any competition for Rat, it's the super groups like Led Zeppelin or Rolling Stones.
I didn't think that they thought of us as a Beatles or a Beach Boys,
Do you think you were taken seriously as a musician?
Probably not. Some people did, but generally speaking, people wanted to nail our coffin any chance they got.
The critics pick out who they like and don't like. It's simple as that. If you're Michael Stipe, am I saying this right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're Michael Stipe, you get critical acclaim. If you're Bret Michaels, you don't.
Believe it or not, I went to NYU. I majored in music. I had Itzhak Perlman teaching me music. He'd be rolling over now if he knew. This is what I'm doing with it now.
Did you feel you weren't taken seriously as a musician?
Nah, I think you're as serious as you take yourself. Hello, my kudo chickadee. How do you like my party? I enjoy having fun, and I just felt that I did as much as I can do, I guess.
It got to the point where it was like, okay, every rock band who came out in the 80s sucked, has no reason to live, and should not be on this planet, and there's no way they can possibly do anything worthwhile or viable in the 90s. So let's just burn them all at the stake.
All of a sudden, 1980s is the kiss of death. If you're an artist from the 1980s, now nobody wants anything to do with you.
Would you ever trust me? I'll never feel the same.
Lita Ford, the heavy metal lust queen who duetted with Ozzy Osbourne in the 80s, is now married and living on the Gulf of Mexico, where she awaits metal's triumphant, and she says, inevitable, return.
I think we got the whole family. I think a lot of people out there don't like alternative music. I think a lot of people out there don't like rap. And I think a lot of people out there want to hear just straight ahead rock and roll. And they're not getting it.
I did a good man, I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing.
I'm definitely not done yet. I'm not ready to sit on my ass and, have lots of babies and sit around and be a grandma and all that. No, I'm not. I'm ready to rock still. But the only problem is that there's no place for rock and roll in the music industry right now. Where's our rock and roll? Where the f did our rock and roll go? And I'm really pissed off about it. I'm waiting for it to come back and kick America into the behind big time.